In this masterclass, I've given you extensive guidance on how to ace an interview, from the moment you find out about it until the moment it's all over. In this lesson, I'd like to let you in on a secret that'll take your senior level interview to the next level. But before I do that, I'd like to tell you a story. It's about two senior professionals who used to work at the same organization. I'm not going to tell you their genders because what I want to share has nothing to do with that at all. The first person was a very competent business manager. They were sharp and intelligent. They knew absolutely everything that was going on that a manager should know about. They were a smoker, so they frequently socialized with other smokers and picked up a lot of news and gossip that way. But despite how friendly and visible they were, not many employees felt much of a connection with them. Sure, this person was liked. Employees followed their directions, but that's about it. There wasn't much of a rapport there other than casual friendliness. When this person eventually left the business, it wasn't long before they were virtually forgotten about. Their successor, on the other hand, was a different kettle of fish. The only way to describe them is charismatic. There was just something about them that attracted others. They could walk in a room and immediately command attention without even saying a word. It was mesmerizing to watch them in action, and I can't recall anyone not falling for their spell. In fact, business shot up whenever they engaged with clients. Teams began performing better, and the overall atmosphere in the office improved dramatically. And this person didn't even smoke. Honestly, 10 years after they left the organization, ex-employees still refer to them as an example of great leadership, even though they'd also moved on to other companies. I know you're wondering, come on Jan-Henrik, what's going on here? What made the second person so special? Because their methods were so subtle and natural, no one could figure out their magic formula. Here's what they did. Use matching and mirroring. Take a genuine interest in other people. Make others feel good. Find common ground. And match body language. Let's take a closer look at each of these. Use matching and mirroring. Did you know that up to 93% of who we are and what we express is nonverbal? That's not to say that verbal communication is unimportant, far from it. But when it comes to building a rapport, matching and mirroring is one of the most powerful ways to instantly connect with others. So what does that mean? Well, this is something that really works on a subconscious level. Let me put it like this. People tend to like people who are like them, or how they'd like to be. They tend not to like people who are not like them or how they don't want to be. Matching and mirroring is about connecting with others by reflecting what they are doing. That doesn't mean you have to copy everything. They lift a foot, you lift a foot, that sort of thing. No, it's more subtle than that. If they have high energy, meet with their level of energy. Match the strength of their handshake. Sit how they are sitting. Modulate your tone or voice of theirs. And here's something fascinating. If you breathe at the same pace as the person next to you, you're going to be in tune with each other. Keep any matching and mirroring subtle and natural, and you'll leave a lasting impression of similarity and connection without the other person being aware that you're doing anything. Take a genuine interest in other people. How do you feel when someone shows an interest in you? Pretty good, right? In an interview setting, you can communicate interest in the other person by asking them thoughtful questions and ask for their insight. For example, how long have you worked here? How would you describe the company culture? What do you think would make someone successful in this role? Make others feel good. Something the second person in my story did really well was to make eye contact. They looked directly at every person in the room, even if they were only passing through. By making eye contact and nodding or giving a smile, they silently communicated that the other person was important. They gave regular positive feedback to their employees. They listened carefully to what others had to say. People were left with the impression that they were important and valued, so they felt good about themselves. Find common ground. If you want to increase your chances of connecting with someone, look for areas of common ground. In an interview setting, finding common ground could happen in several ways. Perhaps you went to the same university or are a member of the same professional organization as your interviewer. Maybe they held your role in the past. Perhaps their opinion about how they would tackle this role in the first 30 days strongly resonates with your own 30, 60, 90-day plan. Whatever it is, look for areas where you can communicate common interest. Pay attention to body language. When you walk into the interview, the other person's perception of you is formed in just a few seconds, without you even having to say a word. As humans, we're wired to pick on subtle clues that subconsciously tell us about other people's intention and character. We pretty quickly know if we like someone or not. Part of this is how you mirror others, whether it's by matching their posture or tone of voice or energy level. Part of it is what you don't do. For example, don't continually break eye contact or stare around the room. Don't crush their hand when you greet. Don't take a seat before they do. Pay attention to their body language and your own. There's one more technique I'd like to share with you. I've seen it work time and time again. It's something I learned from Chris Voss, an ex-FBI hostage negotiator. He spent 24 years building instant relationships with people who were afraid or violent, so he knows a lot about how to connect immediately with others. While your interviewer, of course, is neither violent nor afraid, Voss techniques are just as relevant, because it's about making others feel like they're in control. He also tells us that instead of just asking questions, try labeling or paraphrasing what they say with expressions such as "it feels like," "it sounds like," "it seems like." What this does is make the other person feel heard. For example, if you follow the advice of making people feel good, you ask them for their opinion, say about the company culture. Then what you do is use one of these expressions to paraphrase what you've just heard. I will give you an example. From what you're telling me, it sounds like Company X is a dynamic, customer-centric organization where people work hard, but there's an active focus on work-life balance. It seems like diversity and equality are highly valued here. It feels like every employee's voice is heard and everyone is encouraged to share their ideas. It sounds exactly like the type of organization I'd like to be part of. A lot of this sounds fairly straightforward, but you'd be surprised how many people aren't aware of just how impactful these techniques can be. When you think about the two people in my story, we all know which one used the techniques and which one didn't. In an interview setting, you know who would make the most powerful impression, right? As a senior level professional, your ability to lead or influence others come down to more than just experience and skills. These abilities need to shine in an interview to ensure you stand out about your competition. To that end, I'm going to give you a small task. This is entirely optional, but I think it's something that's hugely beneficial to practice before an interview. It's also going to benefit you in so many other areas. And it's this. What I'd like you to do is to try out some of the techniques we've just discussed next time you meet with someone, whether it's personal or business. Use matching and mirroring. Take a genuine interest in them. Make them feel good. Find common ground. Match their body language. And finally, put them in control and make them feel heard by paraphrasing key information that they share with you. The majority of these techniques apply to both in-person and virtual meetings. By mastering these tactics, you're going to take your interactions with others to the next level.